With the spotlight being very much on asylum seekers and international protection applicants over the weekend following the fatality on the streets of Dublin in the early hours of Saturday morning, Jim O'Callaghan, the so-called Justice Minister for Ireland, is coming out today with a statement of admission that there are too many people coming to Ireland. Can you believe that? He actually said it. Yes, he did. And I'm going to provide proof of that today, along with some other very disturbing statements that he made with the regards to the state acquiring properties to convert into asylum centres rather than building new premises. So without any further ado, let's jump in there. Here we have a picture of O'Callaghan looking absolutely enthralled to be in his job. Look at him, full of enthusiasm, full of vitality, full of verve and zeal. I think not. Just looks miserable, doesn't he? Too many people are coming to Ireland seeking international protection, says Justice Minister, on plans to reform the asylum system. Now, here is the key. Plans to reform. Talking about it's not working very well. Telling people what they want to hear and then doing precisely what about it. That's the problem. If you think about the UK over the last few years, there was talk of a Rwanda scheme to deport people to Rwanda that were coming to England illegally or to the UK illegally. They talked, and then nothing actually happened about it, and then it was effectively disbanded. Well, here we have O'Callaghan saying too many people are coming to Ireland seeking asylum who are not entitled, adding the system will change. So a simple statement that the system's going to change doesn't really cut the mustard, especially when you don't have any actual timescales associated with it. And speaking the obvious, of course there's too many people coming to Ireland. That's what people have been saying for a very, very long time. And that those who are not entitled to be. Yeah, he's starting to sound a little bit right-wing, isn't he? Do you think he's been listening to alternate media? Do you think he's been tuning into this channel? Do you think he's been listening to the scathing criticisms and he's actually the penny's starting to drop? Could we see O'Callaghan turning? Well, I doubt it somehow. O'Callaghan, who took over as Minister for Justice, Home Affairs and Migration last month, stressed that a faster, stricter process will be brought in. Okay, again, faster, stricter. What does that actually mean? What are the metrics that are going to be set along with this and brought in when? There needs to be deadlines. There needs to be things that people can be held accountable for when they speak, not just fluffy statements. Too many people are coming to Ireland seeking international protection who are not entitled to it, he told RTEs this week. Last year, 18,500 asylum seekers entered Ireland that they are disclosing. 18,500 asylum seekers entered Ireland, with the department forecasting around 15,000 set to enter the country this year. Around 15,000. He won't be definitive with his predictions. He's just giving a ballpark figure. And remember, it's only February. There's a lot of water can pass under the bridge between now and December. The minister said last year, out of 14,000 applications, over 65% were rejected at the first instance. So far this year, more than 80% have been rejected at first. So where are they? Where are they? We're not hearing about these mass deportations. They've talked about mass deportations later on in the year, talking about chartering a flight or chartering a plane to get people out of the country that shouldn't be here. So by his calculations, 65% of 14,000, that should be nearly 10,000 people should have been kicked out of Ireland last year. I don't remember reading any reports about that happening. The people who are really suffering are those who are legitimately entitled to claim it, who may not be provided accommodation because of the numbers that are coming in. This is an area I'm not going to shy away from. So he's getting into a lather about people who are entitled to accommodation, who may not be able to get it because of the numbers. I'm thinking here in particular about the Irish homeless people. He doesn't mention them. Granted, that may not be part of his remit, but it should be. As an Irish government minister, he should be concerned about the people of Ireland, the 15,000 plus that are currently homeless and can't get accommodation because of the numbers that are coming in, not because of legitimately entitled protection applicants that aren't getting a roof over their head. This is an area I'm not going to shy away from, he said. Again, a fluffy comment. Mr. Fluffy. I think that's what we'll call Jim O'Callaghan. Mr. Fluffy. O'Callaghan added that if an applicant is refused international protection, then you leave, you're gone. Again, I didn't see mass deportations last year when he claims that 65% of the 14,000 people that applied were refused. I didn't see it. If you saw it, leave a message in the comments. He also said that what he's not going to do is create as many accommodation spaces as possible for asylum seekers. That's exactly what's happening at the minute. In hotels, in guest houses, in B&Bs, in repurposed office blocks, in buildings that have been bought and converted to IPAS centres. That's exactly what's happening. This is gaslighting. Saying you're not going to do something, and then that's exactly what you're doing. Psychological gaslighting. He said the driver of accommodation need is the ever-increasing number of asylum seekers coming into the country, which he plans to address. In other words, he hasn't addressed it yet. And he's coming out with vague statements. Talk, talk, talk. I was out in City West last week. That's an example of the type of centre that's working well. And we should try and have others like it in place rather than building places. Now, listen to this. Rather than building places, the preference should be to buy places. Buy places? What places? Empty places, places that landlords are putting up for sale because they realise there's more coin in it to get asylum seekers in there than to get Irish renters or Irish families in there. Turn them back into legitimate businesses to employ Irish people. Wants to buy places specifically for IPAS centres. O'Callaghan confirmed that the plan is to buy a series of centres around the country. Series of centres? For immigrants, by the way, not for Irish homeless people. However, he said he would not reveal the final number. He won't reveal it, which means he has it, but he won't say what it is. Now, why would you not reveal the final number if you thought that the backlash or the kickback from that would be huge? So he said he won't reveal the final number, but that means he has it. So he's withholding information here. So he's giving fluffy, vague statements, but he's withholding the hard facts that people actually want to hear. He won't get into commercial transactions that the state is going to enter into and who are they entering into them with. But it's obviously much cheaper if the state owns the accommodation centres as opposed to giving vast amounts of money to own them that were premises not designed for that purpose, he said. Very sinister. He also spoke on the Ukrainians and the accommodation recognition payment programme for government, where the state pays €800 per property for hosting, which comes to an end this month. O'Callaghan said it's a function that still remains with former integration Roderick O'Gorman's departmental remit. Roderick O'Gorman. Lethal weapon. Legally, it remains there, but I've spoken to the Taoiseach and the Taoiseach about it, and I don't want to preempt anything there, he said. So he is withholding information. He is withholding information. He knows what they're planning to do. He knows where they're planning to buy. And this is off the back of information that came out last week as well, to say that for the protection of the workers and the people there, that locations of new and future and proposed IPAS centres would be withheld. So the locations are being withheld, and now the numbers are being withheld. The amount of centres that they propose to buy, or the amount of properties that they propose to buy, is also being withheld. So vague when it comes to elector speak. Yes, there's too many people. Yes, we need to do something about it. Yes, we need to crack down on this. Yes, we need to get rid of people that shouldn't be here. But nothing's actually being done about it. And in the background, they're talking about state purchase of properties and repurposing them for the purposes of international protection applicants. So leave me your thoughts, comments and opinions and suggestions below. Thank you for your support here on No Risk, No Reward Media. This is Rick Munn, over and out.